What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and I want to start off saying I'm very sorry that I have to make a video like this, but I am in a hotel room and the lighting sucks, so bear with me. I'm still going to give you some valuable information. I know you think it's valuable because you clicked on the damn, I know you saw the title and you clicked on it, right? So I'm going to give you some real shit right here. Now, I say these things before, the 5 rules for new relationships. I say these before, back and forth in all my videos, but I'm going to kind of sum it all up right here on 5 things you need to do in the beginning that don't ruin your chances with guys, that raise your value, that keep you from doing the red flags, that bring a guy in, that doesn't freak a guy out, and all those kind of things, okay? So here it is. Number 1, I'm going to say give. When you are in a relationship, you should be in a relationship for giving. You should be giving 51% of that relationship. If you're in a relationship for, if you're giving something to take something, then you're in a transaction. That a relationship will not work that way. So you have to be in one for the idea of giving. And I put this one first because I realized something. A lot of you are in a very me mindset, like me, all me, not, and you think you're not, but you are. And I say that because from my clients, from what they're saying, from what I'm seeing in the emails, from what I'm seeing in the comments, and from what I'm seeing in the, like my Ask FMs, you guys are just putting a lot of stuff out there. You're trying, it's all about you. You're trying to get him, you're not worried really about his concern. I know a lot of women who are like, a great example is you'll be messing around with the guy. He told you from the beginning, that he didn't want a relationship, but you ignored it anyway. And now you're trying to get me to tell you ways to get the guy, even though he doesn't want to be with you. That's total. That relationship will never ever work. Not because he doesn't want the same thing as you. It was just you're very me in that sub. I get that all the time. I get a lot of people coming to me saying, I'm friends with benefits with the guy, but 6 months in, I started to fall for him. He told me from the get-go he didn't want anything, and I asked him about it, now, and he said he still doesn't want anything. So what do? Hun, you move on. I mean, I'm not gonna, even if I knew, which I kind of know how to convince him otherwise, I wouldn't, because that's not fair to him. If his version of happiness doesn't have you in it, then you need to respect that, and vice versa. If you don't like the idea that he doesn't want to be friends with benefits, or that he wants friends with benefits but you don't, then he needs to respect that. If you say, no, I'm pulling away. He shouldn't bullshit you. He shouldn't lie to you. He shouldn't manipulate you, and all those kind of things to keep you around. Both of those, whatever example it is, his or yours, those were both examples of me, okay? So the first thing you have to do is give. If you really want the other person to be happy, then you're kind of going on the right path, okay? Secondly, the number 2 thing, I would say love in a way where they feel free. Guys, their biggest fear of being in a relationship is actually going in one and having no freedom. A woman tying him down. I don't mean that in terms of him not being able to talk to other women. I just mean the fact that he feels tied down, like he feels obligated to call you all the time, text you all the time, see you all the time. Which, I mean, a guy should if he really cares about you, but I know women who take it way too far. Again, going back to number 1, it's a me mindset. When you're in a relationship, it needs to be, you both need to love in a way where it feels free, but you also love and enjoy the time you spend together. See, I feel like a lot of people in the beginning of a relationship, again, I'm talking about beginning relationships, not relationships in general, just beginning, like 3 months and under. You need to focus on quality, not quantity. I'd rather see a girl 2 or 3 times a week. I'll say 3 times if we're official, and we're just having a really good time, quality. Every time I'm hanging out there, I build attraction. I like her more and more, instead of seeing her 5 times a week, and it's just kind of like, what do you want to do tonight? Oh, what are we doing tonight? Oh, do you want to have sex? Okay, don't get me wrong, I love sex, but I feel like couples are either having sex or fighting all the time now. So, yeah, you want to love in a way where you feel free. The third thing I would say is, obviously, don't over text. Texting is your worst enemy. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. I'm telling you, the number one reason I think that relationships don't work out in the very beginning, I'm talking about like first date and under, or second date and under, is over texting. It still gives the illusion that you're up his ass, that you're always around. And if he's the one always texting you, tell him to cut it out. Not really tell him to cut it out, but make an excuse, man. Say you're busy, you're at work. Do you want to, do you want to hang out Friday? I can see you Friday. Something, something to build or bridge the gap from the Tuesday he's texting your ass off to Friday. You have to find some way to build that gap. I'm not saying don't text him between that time, but don't try to have conversations over text. It gets very, very boring very, very fast, okay? The fourth thing I would say is come from a want, not a need. A lot of red flags, again, I talked about this in my red flag video, and when I'm saying red flags, I'm not always blaming you, but guys are assholes also, I understand, but at the same time, I am a women's dating coach, so I am talking to you, and again, I know guys are assholes. If they weren't, I wouldn't be making money. Okay, so the red flags come out because a lot of the times women come from a place of need, not want. I know a lot of women. I'm not talking about like any particular woman in, in this instance, but I know a lot of women who have to be in a relationship. They want to fill the void. They feel like if they're in a relationship, there's perfection or there's completion. That they did it. Quote unquote, did it. I got my relationship, I got what I wanted, I'm happy now. That's not how it works. Guys can sense that a mile away, and that's why a lot of relationships don't work out, both men or women, especially guys. If a guy's coming from a need, he's going to be super, super insecure, super, super clingy. It's really obvious when a guy's coming from a place of need and not want. I still think it's obvious with a girl, but it's a lot more obvious with the guy. And a girl, when she does it, she just shows more like clinginess and neediness when that's the case. When it comes from a guy, it's really, it shows just really big insecurities, and he's just clinging on he's a stage 5 clinger, right? If a guy's coming from a place of need and not want. But in the beginning, come from a want. Show a guy, I want you, but I don't need you. And finally, number 5 is focus on the now. A lot of people make the mistake wanting to get him tied down day 1, day 2, day 3, date 5, date 6. I mean, listen, I understand that you want to tie him down, and that you want a relationship. And again, it might be because you're afraid of losing him. I don't know why, or maybe just really like him. But at the same time, I always tell women, if you're on a first date with him, focus on that first date. If you get that first date and it goes well, you're going to get a second date. When you are on that second date, focus on the second date, right? Focus it now. Focus in the moment. If you do good there, you're going to get the third date. A lot of people don't do that, and they realize why, one or the other, why it doesn't work out. You gotta focus on the now. Build value now. Build rapport now. Build chemistry and connection now. And if you do that, everything's going to go well. So with that being said, ladies, there's 5 things that you need to do in the beginning of a relationship to make it work out. I wish you all the best. I love you. Take care and peace.